Cheap and Cheerful, and today it's fakes, counterfeits and clones. From North Korea's Supernotes to dodgy Rolexes, the word counterfeit sparks the imagination. And today I'll show you a few hands-on examples with a little guidance on how you can spot them. We'll be looking at dodgy counterfeit mice like this Logitech MX Anywhere 3S. We'll compare real and fakes side by side, plus the most popular microphone in the world and it's super fake that's fooled thousands of people, plus dangerous fake USB-C chargers. All that and more coming up next. Now, quick disclaimer, this video is education, not encouragement. I do not recommend you buy fake or counterfeit products. Before we start, I've recently updated all my videos with new coupon codes for my favorite online store, AliExpress. So if you'd like to save a few bucks and support my channel, you can find them in the description. Okay, real quickly, let's go through some dangerous fake USB-C chargers. These are the super cheap $5 jobbies that you should never ever buy. I've done a bunch of videos on these before, so I won't go into detail, but basically a lot of people have died of electrocution while charging their phone because these are fake, deadly dollops of doo-doo. First up, we have the EEE-EEE Boundless Cube, promising 80 watts. It says it's a gallium nitride. I paid only $7. Its key feature is this retractable USB-C cable. Not such a bad idea, I guess. Now, it claims 80 watts. Let's see what it really does. 20 watts, 30. It's certainly not 80 watts, but you could potentially charge something with this if it didn't kill you in the process. All right, just need to find my screwdriver. It's around here somewhere. What the heck? So looking inside this, it's got plasticine. That must be covering the transformer. And the transformer in these things is what's going to light you up. What the hell is going on in that thing? Betcha that transformer was getting so hot, it was melting through this and then arcing and sending mains voltage through your little retractable cable. You can watch my other videos for details on why these are dangerous, but basically there's no safety and almost nothing separating you from being electrocuted by mains voltage. One more 100 watts from a single port, it cost $4. I think this one's bullshit. Let's check it out. 10 watts. What? 10 watts. Let's just gently pry it open. Let's see what's inside. Oh boy. Yeah, this is more like it. This is more what I was expecting in the other one. Basically nothing compared to what should be in there. That one is really nothing. There's just no safety. And to make it seem somewhat decent, we've got a nice loose piece of metal here. Where would that have gone? If that was over the top, that could have shorted anything. And if it was on the other side, equally so. What? Okay, so there's the slot for it. It's got a slot, so let's put it back in the slot and then line these up. So yeah, it's like that. Looks like plenty of space here. What if... yeah, I don't think that's so good. It's resting on top of... How can that be? It's resting on top of all the bloody welds. Okay, moving on to some counterfeits. So all my mice are Logitech because they make the best mice in the world. So when a bunch of them popped up for ridiculous prices, like a third of their normal price, I became curious. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that you can get some items at half the local price. So it is possible, and I thought maybe there's some chance they might actually be legit, Chinese market versions, that kind of thing. And besides, who is going to fake a couple of cheap $20 mice like this? I had to know what was going on either way, so I placed an order and waited. And of course, here they are. As you can see, the MX Anywhere arrived in perfect condition, while the other two arrived in the traditional manner, carefully pre-crumpled and expertly squashed. Looking at the boxes from a few feet away maybe, especially this one. This one's just really squashed, makes it look especially dodgy, but they kind of look real. But yeah, obviously when you get a bit closer, things just don't look right. Let's take a look at this one first. Okay, so this is the Logitech M650 and 650L. It comes in two sizes. One of these is genuine and the other one is fake. Can you guess which one? Turning them over, some more clues. So which one's counterfeit? If you guessed the one on the left, you would be correct. The M650L, the large one, is the counterfeit, and the M650 is my regular laptop mouse. I think it's the perfect mouse because it's in the Logitech Goldilocks zone. Not too cheap that it's plasticky trash, and not too expensive, so it's just right. Now, the M650L is the larger variant for people who prefer to wrap their hands around something with a bit more girth. The first thing you notice about this mouse, though, is the texture on the side. It's just plastic, hard plastic. When you compare with the real deal, it's nice, soft rubber. And of course, there's plenty of other problems. The back edge is sharp, it catches your skin. The power switch here is hard to push, like it's mushy and hard. The light on the bottom, I don't know if it comes across on the camera, but it's just really bright. The mouse works as expected though. The click is silent. It comes up as a Logi M650L, but there's no battery indicator and the model and the version number are missing. It does include the dongle on the inside here, and the Bluetooth works as well, much to my surprise. What is going on with the screw on this thing? I think it's just mangled. Yeah, oh man. Yeah, that is not coming out. Do I need to use my universal screwdriver? Hopefully not. So, this is what's inside of this one. There's almost nothing. So again, one of these is genuine and one of them is definitely a counterfeit. The real one's seen better days, so I don't think I can hide it from you for long. Turning them over. So which one did you think was the fake? If you picked the one on the right, you would be correct. Despite the logo seeming to be the wrong size, externally and in terms of feel, this is much closer to the original than the first model we looked at. The looks and the feel are almost right. Sadly though, it commits the biggest sin any mouse could: loud, clicky switches. Now, the genuine model does have clicky switches too, as I can demonstrate here. This is the genuine, but it'll be using quality Japanese Omron micro switches, which have a delicate click. The counterfeit click is like a hacksaw to the balls. It's really loud and annoying. Even worse, the side buttons are mushy, and it's got that telltale echo of a cheap mouse that tells you there's absolutely nothing inside. But the DPS button does work to change the speed and resolution, and the light is generally okay. It flicks through a few different colors, just like the real deal. So yeah, if it wasn't for the really noisy clicky buttons on this, I would almost use this one as a backup, but no, that's just a bit too much. So to take this apart, I'm going to use my creation space. Great little unit this. I've done a whole bunch of reviews on dozens of these kinds of things, precision electric drivers. This is the one that I always seem to pick up. It's not very expensive either, so it's the one I generally recommend. Oh, there we go. Different. Yeah, this is a better quality counterfeit overall, I would say. Hold that thought. Maybe not. The board looks way simpler. I wonder if it's the same company. Anyway, here's what a real one looks like inside. All right, so finally, Logitech MX Anywhere 3S. I did have some hope this might be real, a local Chinese copy, as it costs twice as much as all the others, around $20 US or $30 Australian. When the box arrived, my hopes grew because kind of looks like it might be real. Opening it up is a pain in the butt. Opening it up, they've done well. It looks pretty good at first glance, but then on the edge of the cushion, skid marks because the paint wasn't dry when they chucked it in the box. Pick it up and it feels okay. It looks pretty decent until you notice the terrible chromed plastic wheel. It's like a cheap Matchbox car. It just looks bad. The extra $10 does buy you some improvements though. The surface is rubberized, but it feels like I could probably scratch it off. And if you look closely, it is starting to come off on the front there, or something's going on. When they were applying it, it was damaged or something. Not so good. But the mouse is a silent clicker. The funniest part is though, the side of the box tells you doesn't include a dongle, which is correct. On the real one, it's not included, but they just couldn't help themselves. They had to chuck one in. There it is, along with this dodgy USB cable. That should not be here if it was genuine, but no, it's clearly not genuine. Now, I'm not going to crack this open because I am going to try and return this and get my money back. But yeah, before anyone asks, yes, I did test it and the anywhere function does work. So if we switch this on, you can switch between 3 different devices. That's what the MX Anywhere does without having to resync it every time. Anyway, enough for the mice. Let's check out this bad boy. The Shure SM7B. If you don't know, this is a legendary microphone used by major artists going back decades, like Michael Jackson, Iron Maiden, Green Day, Chili Peppers. Almost every popular YouTuber on the internet today uses a genuine one of these. Ooh, that's from a mouse. Let's take that off. But a genuine unit costs $500 US. So cheap alternatives are everywhere, including legal clones like these two. But of course, there are also counterfeits, and they are everywhere. Seriously, it's got to be one of the most counterfeited items in history. And the scary thing is, it looks and sounds so similar, it's very hard to tell the difference. Let's open this thing up. And while I'm doing it, if you're looking for a decent, cheap microphone that's not a counterfeit, I'd go for either the FiFine K688, which is a very popular cheapie that does sound great. It's only $55 on AliExpress right now, so check that one out if you like. Or if you wanted something more serious, I'd grab what I'm using now, which is a Rode PodMic, proudly made in Australia. Sadly though, Rode are based in Sydney, and if you're from overseas, you might not know, but Sydney is actually a terrible place to visit. Site of a horrible accident way back in the 1980s, so you should definitely never go there. Instead, you should come to Melbourne, where I live, truly the sports and cultural capital of Australia, if not the world. Anyway, link in the description for this great Aussie mic. So the box looks pretty convincing, no dodgy, blurry, faded text or anything like that. Inside we've got the seal, which I've already cut. We've got the paperwork and manuals, even a Shure PVC sticker, which smells great by the way, user guide, all the different warranty and all that sort of stuff. In the left compartment, we've got the larger windscreen that goes over the top of the mic. And we got some copper adapters and a Shure Velcro strap. Pulling the mic out, it's heavy, just like the real thing. Honestly, it looks so good that most YouTubers who have the original have trouble telling the difference, and there's very little externally that you can use to tell you've got a fake. We've also got the metal cover here, which goes on the back there. They've gone to a ton of effort to convince people that this is the real thing, and that's why the scammers love it, because they can make a quick buck. If you wanted to buy a real one of these, go to your local musical instrument store. Don't buy it online. Taking off the windscreen, we've got the capsule inside, and that looks like the real deal too. So how can a regular person, beginner even, know if they've scored a real one or a fake? Well, the signs are very small, and mostly you need to open it up. The real ones are unpainted on the inside, where the fakes are painted. It's almost like the fakes went to extra effort to make it seem genuine. If you don't want to open it up, sometimes all it takes is to give it a shake. The capsule in the fakes isn't held in very tight, so they rattle around. On the real ones, it's held much more tightly, so you shouldn't hear that sound. That's what I'm told at least. Anyway, let's plug it in and hear how it sounds. So you already know what my regular mic sounds like, the Rode PodMic, which costs about 20% more than the counterfeit SM7B, but at least it has a warranty and it won't break if you drop it. And this is the counterfeit SM7B, which is a little bit cheaper than the genuine PodMic, but may self-destruct at any moment. So which one do you think sounds better? So that's the last of the counterfeits in today's episode, but please check out my other videos and like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Reminder, there's some fresh coupon codes in the description of all my videos if you'd like to shop and save money on AliExpress and support the channel at the same time. And remember, be cool, be kind, and I'll see you next time.